forward to this.
Sure.
So let me present Daniel. I met him through Chloe, one of our members. She said that he was her go-to person for AI, and he graciously accepted our offer to talk about the hows and whys of generative AI. So I'm gonna send it over to him.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to have you all here, and I hope this meeting will be useful for everyone's daily life, or everyone's professional life, because it's a kind of introduction of what is the AI world, because it's as we gonna see, it's a very broad word that have different meanings. And first of all, I want to excuse me in advance for my English, and I hope to be clear when I talk on these topics. But if you have any questions, you can stop me and ask me, and I try to be the clearest as possible. So are we all good? You can hear me?
Yes,
Okay,
we can.
Okay.
So let's start with this quote that I find out and could looks like something very negative, but I think it's an opportunity. It's by Stephen Hawking, and it says that success is creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might also be the last, unless we learn how to avoid the risks. What it means. Um, let's say that I'm optimistic, so I think the word last could means also that will be the last human activity, because after the AI um, explosion, it will become our best friend and best assistant in every activity. But it's important to be aware of what it is, how we can use it, what's the limits, and what's the potentials. So today I want to talk about a little bit about what is AI, and show you the difference, and show you that all of us already experience the AI in our everyday life, because the AI is not something very new. Then we'll see the potentials of the generative AI, that is the main focus, because the generative AI, what is the big game changer here. Then we'll see some practical uses and practical examples of what we can do with the different models, the different generative AIs, and some of the critical issues, because we have to be aware of what are the risks and what are the limits for the society and for us. Okay, so I will be very, very quick about this topic, but it's important to understand how these models work, because it's important also when we are going to talk about the risks. The AI is something that started in the 50s, maybe, so it's not at all anything new, because it's a general term that include everything, and everything that whose goal is to create machines that replicate or imitate some of humans' activities. So anything that try to simulate the human intelligence. It's not a human intelligence, but is a simulation, because these models are trained with a lot of data that could be images, texts, or any format of data. Inside these models, there are some algorithms that analyze and find some patterns to understand how to replicate the human activity. I think it is easier that it sounds. Imagine that these models are like the best student in your class, and this student is able to read millions of books, watching millions of videos, movies, listening to millions of audios, and learn from all these data. So why I told you that the AI is something that is not new? Because all these models have evoluted during the last 60 years, starting from the traditional AI that were the early chatbots, and I don't know if someone remember in the 90s there was a very famous game between Eliza, if I'm not wrong, and Garry Kasparov, one of the most famous chess players. And he was for the first time defeated by a machine. So this was one of the first examples of AI. Then, with the time, these algorithms became more complex and more powerful, because we had enough power to enough computing power to make them work very well. So these are the machine learning models, and we are using these models every day with the spam filters, with the recommendations on Netflix or YouTube. So this is, let's say, the key of the AI. What now we can call the generative AI. With the evolution, we discovered the deep learning models that are even more complex algorithms that we experience every day with Siri, with the Google Translator, or the self-driven cars. But why we started to talk about the AI just now? Because on the 2018, for the first time, OpenAI launched his model, ChatGPT 3.5. And it was a game changing, because for the first time, these models could speak and output a natural language. So it's like for the first time in history, we can speak, we can talk with with the machines, with the computer, as they are friends, or they are human, because we from our output, from our input, what we ask to the machine, it output, it replied us with a very clear, very natural, and very human response. So this is the big game changer, and this is why we now have to talk about generative AI. So when we talk about AI, a big event since 2018, we're talking about the generative AI. This is the big game-changing event that we are going to talk about. Let me say that I already explained the main difference. It's very clear. The traditional AIs are just models that reply, that output something from billions of data. They find out a pattern, and they reply with, I know that you like dramatic and comedies, so as Netflix, I show you what I suppose you like. Or Alexa, when we talk with Alexa, that is another AI, but it's not a generative AI. Alexa doesn't create anything new. Alexa just replies with predetermined answers, and it has one goal, is to reply to generic requests. With the generative AI, we can start to create new content. So I will show you after what I mean. This means that these models are a very big encyclopedias that they learned everything about human knowledge. Because I think at the beginning of this year, someone have said that the entire human knowledge is already the AIs was used in the entire human knowledge to train the AI. So we don't have any new knowledge to use to train and to make these models better. But they're pretty powerful because obviously thousands of years of human history. It's a lot of data to work with. So with the generative AI, actually, we can use the text to produce other text, to produce new images, or even videos. The coding, I think, is the most easiest and the most expected task that these models do, because it's obviously the coding. The codes are the languages, the language of the machines. So they're not the human language. The human language, the natural language, is how we talk. So I think it's obvious, but just to be clear. So these models don't copy what already exists, but they use the patterns inside their brain, let's say, to create something new. So if I request to the machine, to these models, to write a poem, was a question? Maybe? No, okay. And these are some of the examples of models that you can use. The most famous is ChatGPT, OpenAI, but all of these can perform different tasks. For example, Suno is popular because it's a text to audio. So with a simple text prompt, you can generate any kind of audio, from a song to speech, to some rumors, etc. While Midjourney is the text to image. So with a simple text prompt, the prompt is the command that we use to communicate with the AIs. We can create now a brand new image, etc. This is, for example, a thing that I try to write with ChatGPT. It's a very basic and a very simple prompt. Audio. I just write him, ask to write an email to thank the attendance of my webinar. So it's the right purpose. And you can see that the result is already formatted, and I can change whatever I need to change, but I already have the structure, and this it was made in probably 5 seconds. These are some examples of the pictures that you can do with Midjourney or any text to image. So from product campaigns to real human people, to interior designs, or even old pictures that this person doesn't exist. So this is a brand new created. So let me go a little bit faster because we have a lot of topics to talk about. So to summarize, I hope is everything clear now because I didn't want to talk any about the technical part, but I hope it's a clear difference between the AI and the generative AI and why it's important now to start using it and why it's so important, this revolution, because we can create text, we can create image, audio, and video.
Excuse me, Daniel, just one second.
Yes.
Can everyone see his screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so there's two people who can't see the screen. Are you looking on a computer or your cell?
Oh, okay.
I'm on a computer. I can't see it.
Do you want to try unsharing and sharing again, Daniel?
Sure.
Okay.
Cool. Got it now. Thank you.
Jane,
Okay.
can you see it now? Sorry. Thank you, Daniel.
Okay, no worries. I'm sorry if you missed, but let's say the most important informations are from now, because let me summarize it. With the generative AI, so ChatGPT, Midjourney, Suno, Claude, and other models, we can create text, image, audio, and videos, and we can use them also to create new designs. And with the design, I mean, if industrial designer need to create a new concept of any kind of object, everyday object, or just a chair, you can type, I want to create a model, a prototype of a chair with this characteristic, in this style, blending these styles, etc. And you have an output that shows you what you asked for. Obviously, it's not so perfect, but I think the idea that you can prototype something without creating it in real life, so time and costs are actually zero, it makes this industry, the designers, for example, really important tool to work with, because they cut time, cost, and they can experiment with so many combinations that I think we never had this opportunity, because with an idea is important when it's realized, and is useful if it works in real life, because all of us, we have many ideas, but when we start and we try to realize them, they're not we very often realize that this is not a thing that solves a problem, or we just wasted our time to realize something that doesn't work. Same thing about the simulations. Another important thing that we can do with the AI, and is one of the most powerful abilities, is to summarize big texts, even hundreds of texts or books together, and see and create perhaps an outline of what are the main concepts. So I can summarize a lot of knowledge in a very short time, in a very short space, because I can summarize a lot of information in just one sheet, and then work with that output, with that summary. Why it could be useful. Imagine that you have many reports about the trends in a market, or you have to read 5 or 10 scientific papers, very new and very complex. Using the AI doesn't mean that how can I say it? You let the AI do the work for you, but you ask the AI to summarize a lot of informations and find out the most useful informations for you for a specific goal. I don't know if it's that is clear. The last thing that we can do, but this is more complex because the personalized interaction, that means customer service and using real chatbots that can listen and speak like humans for the customer service and answer to customers' doubts or issues 24/7. In a very easy way, because we can input the knowledge of our company and use all that knowledge to create a chatbot that communicate with our customers and answering to simple questions like the opening times, any contacts, etc.
Excuse me to interrupt you. Sorry for my ignorance. Could you explain what is a chatbot? I see always this word, but I don't know
Sure.
what it is. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for the question, Sandrine. And a chatbot is, imagine a ChatGPT that could talk. It's very simple, and this is the use that it's a chatbot. I think we all of us experienced with the chatbots that in many companies, if we had any issue, there is the chat write to us, and we realize from the answers of those bots that they are not humans, because they are very predetermined, and in many cases that they are not useful, because the informations that they give us are the informations that we probably already have read on the website, so it's just a waste of time. Now, with these chatbots that are more powerful, because these are chatbots with the generative AI into their algorithms, so they can analyze more data, but they can find a useful pattern. For example, in my company, these are the procedures to solve this issue for this customer. The chatbot, so the ChatGPT who can talk, can answer to the individual, not a generic customer, so can answer specifically to that query, to that issue, to that customer. So this is another game changing. This is the next step, because in this case we introduce the automation and the AI agents that is more complex. So these are models that can perform real tasks. So instead of asking to ChatGPT, give me the draft for an email that I have to send to my lawyer, the AI agents write the draft instead of you without your request, because they can answer directly to the received email. But this is more complex, so I just want to introduce you that the AI agent is the generative AI 3.0, so it's even more powerful, but I think it's even more dangerous. So let's go to the practical uses, for example, in the marketing area, marketing and communication. We have text to image, text to text, and text to video models that can create with a given input different outputs. So with in the marketing office, we can use the AIs to create any kind of content, textual content. So blog posts, social media, emails, newsletters, product descriptions, and all these contents can maintain the brand voice of our company. Because all these outputs, and for outputs, I mean the content and the blog post, etc., have a better quality if our inputs. So when we use ChatGPT, but I think it could be useful to show you, but we don't have time to make a practical because there are so many.
We said, if correct me if I'm wrong here, Daniel, but we said that the part 2, you'll actually show us how to make
Yes.
how to effectively talk with ChatGPT.
Yes, because it's the prompt concept is not very complicated, but I think the best way to learn how to use it is to experiment, to try the real experience. The empiric experience is the most useful because it's very easy, but we will understand in the next meeting that is important. The output, so the a quality response to our request depends on the quality of the inputs. So in this case, if I want to use the AI to create a complete marketing campaign for my company, I can input and I can upload to the AI, to the AI models, the description of my company. I can input millions of comments or reviews about my company, any internal data, the description of my brand and visual identity. So the generative, the AI, the model know us better and have a better context. So it can create blog post, not simply write me a blog post, but a blog post in social media for a specific purpose with a specific brand voice and for a specific company. So why I have to use the AI if I have my marketing office? Because it multiply our productivity and it cut a lot of time wasting, because we can again generate 100 versions of the same blog posts from a different perspective and different addressees, because this blog post could be I could have, let's say, the social media content is fits better. I can create a social media post for Instagram, for Thread, for Facebook, for TikTok, because all of us know that each of these social medias, social networks, has its own audience. So we know that TikTok is for Gen Z, the Facebook is more for millennials and the boomers generation. Instagram is still Gen Z, millennials, but so we have a different audiences. With the AI, with the help of my marketing office, I can multiply the productivity and create tons of content that I can use, that I can filter, I can choose, and I can address to specific, even individual email. For example, a small company that my mother has have a gelateria, and she knows everyone's favorite taste. I don't know how she remembered that, but she knows it. In this case, she can use this knowledge to have a stronger relation with their customers because I can contact each of them with a personal email. They could be hundreds, but with the AI, I can give the right context. So I need 100 versions of the same post, but with different details, names, etc. And you create it in minutes. And this is only for the content creation and blog posts. These are, the examples sometimes look okay. I can do the same things, creating text, image, and video. The important thing is, again, the perspective, because I can write blog posts, I can write an essay, I can write an article, I can write even the form for, I don't know, for my new subscribers. And I will all the time keep my brand voice and consistency with all of these customers. But when they receive a very personalized email, I think the relations with the company become even stronger, because all of us feel very not happy, but it's a pleasure to when we go to the neighborhood bakery and the baker knows how are you doing, how are your kids, etc. So we can do this in a very big scale. So this is another important thing. Generative AI help us to scale everything. Let's say that the same use we can do it with the image generation. So I showed you here, if I need a billboard or a poster for a movie, I can try some concepts. They couldn't be the final art, but it gives me the idea of my concept. Shows me the idea. This is the important thing. Or in this case, a perfume. Or in this case, I don't know, in a restaurant website, I can create some fancy settings. And again, I can feed. Feed means that I can upload my data to all these models to have a consistency with, I don't know, I want 2 small glasses here. So if I input an image that or a photo of my restaurant, something that I already made, you can make variations with a picture that you already have, but you can use it for a different marketing campaign or for the website. Same story about the interior design. This is a thing that I already tried some with ChatGPT, because I took a picture of my garden and I asked me, help me to make it, to organize it, because I don't know where to start from. This is another very simple task, but they can see. So what we show them, when the fact that they can see means that we can ask very specific questions, because their sight is better than ours. This is another thing that many people don't consider. But I want to show you some examples that I found. Coca-Cola, that is one of the most popular brands, if not the most popular brand in history. They already tried to experiment generative AI. How? Starting from the customers' feedbacks, tastes, comments that they found online, they created a new taste. And how they did it, just putting together in the pot all these informations about the chats between customers, or from the blogs or any other content, even video or other visual, and they created this new futuristic drink edition. Is it important It's important that if the drink is good, bad, or not. I think doesn't matter because the main goal for this campaign, I think, was to engage people more and more, because after that they created a new experience on their website to show the future. But let's say this is not important. But together with this campaign, they had a merch. So you can see how from a single, very easy, very simple idea that is, let's create a new taste. The perspective is different because I start from the bottom. I start from the customers to create a new product. After that, I expand it to different, I differentiate the campaign because they can experience something on my website. So I have more traffic on my website, so more engagement with these customers, and they're satisfying because they have something to buy, and I can earn also from the merchandising. So something exclusive, something new. They're just simply riding the wave of this new trend of the AI. So everyone is curious and want to experiment. Very quickly, in the personal life, how can I use the AIs in my personal life? Let's say exactly the same as the marketing or the business. So you can create any kind of text content from blogs to emails to greeting cards, because sometimes we don't know what to write on a greeting card for that person that we probably talk with only for Christmas, for example. But AI can help us to create something, some ideas, because ChatGPT for me is an assistant that I waited for all my life, because it realized and organize all my ideas. My desk and my house is full of little papers with all my notes, and I keep them in boxes, and sometimes I forget them. Now I can take a picture of every single this paper and ask to ChatGPT to organize them in a logical way. For me, this is a game changing because I write all my idea. I take a note of all my ideas, and many times I forget them because they're around me. But and they are now never around me when I need actually of them. Another thing, another use, I told you about the example of the garden because they can see. So I can take a picture, for example, of my fridge and ask, tonight I'm very tired. I don't want to go to the grocery shop. I have this in my fridge. Show me, create 3 recipes that I can prepare in 3 minutes, in 30 minutes. It works. It's not precise, but it works. And again, it's a thing that I can do by myself, obviously. But what is the most important asset that we have now, every day, in our lives? Time. Time is the most important thing for me because time allows you to do everything. And I'm sure, because many of us are not aware of how many time we waste actually daily, and we don't realize it with repetitive tasks, with tasks that are make us even more tired than the work, because we have to think to pay the bills. Oh, I forgot to put that appointment in my calendar. I forgot to buy the latte. Another thing, another use that I experienced lately is simply creating my shopping list based on the seasonal products. It's a thing that I can do by myself again, but I'm not sure I have to Google, I have to find an app. And it's not easy to specific. I'm in Florence, for example. I'm in Florence and I want to buy products only from local producers, local farmers, etc. With the new models that have the access to internet, to the web, to the news, we can do it, and we can have an authentic and let's say a sure information that we can check with the sources. There are many models that we can use as well. Translation, it's another example, because this is a thing that I want to make it also this example. Donna is recording this meeting, this webinar. We can get the file, we can upload it to ChatGPT or any other model and ask it, can you summarize the most important things, or how can I improve the presentation of this webinar? So it helps to create, it helps to analyze, it saves time. And this is why I consider it as an assistant, not as something that will steal my job. Because there is a very, okay, this is another thing, another interesting thing, quick parenthesis. It is very useful also for training, because again, if we upload the opera omnia of our favorite writer, no, this is probably not the right example, but I have a lot of PDF books and I want to improve my skills in something. We can create with ChatGPT or any other model, Gemini, DeepSeek is another, Claude, Grok. I can ask these models to become my tutor. So I can ask from the input to create a study plan and to follow, to help me to study in a better way, with a better flow. Summarizing the most important things, or simply by asking to explain you a very complex concepts, like explain me the theory of relativity like I'm 12 years old, and it explain it. So we have now a 24/7 assistant who can assist us with almost everything. So this is why sometimes it's difficult to say what is useful, what the AI is useful for. It's useful for everything. It depends how you use it as an assistant, or just ask something, copy and paste. Obviously, in this case, the AI is not useful, but it's the same thing when we were at school and on internet, we could find an already written essays and copy them and send it to, give it to the teachers. Many people did it. About the business and enterprise sector, I think a part of the customer service that we talked about, so a very personal relation, very specific text, very specific content. The biggest change for the business is the automation. So the AI agents that can do all these things, because I think, and we talk about quickly, for one of the risks when we use the AIs for the business, it's important to know that when we upload any kind of data, we don't know how these data are used by these models. So for a business company, it's important not to share any kind of delicate or secret informations. Or the alternative is, like many companies did, they build models for their company, so it's a closed system, so no one can reach, and the informations are safe. Like I found Angelini Group, Angelini Industries is a company, a chemistry company. They created inside the company a model, a ChatGPT for Angelini Industries, and every employer can enter in this page, in this software, and find out everything inside the company, the knowledge of the company. If I want to learn how is this procedure at midnight from home, I can do it because I forgot it and I need it for tomorrow, etc. So it helps the companies to reduce costs and time, but it helps also the employees, because we have even the newest employee have a personal assistant with the AI, in this case with the Angelini's groups. So the big risk when we talk about the AI is the AI will steal my job. And partially I agree with that, because some jobs probably will disappear. And not that they will not disappear, but for example, the call centers, I think now have to start to think of this change, because with the chatbots, so a very complex and powerful models that can simulate a human speech and solve the problems in a very fast and specific way, 24/7. Unfortunately, this is my what I think. The call center operators will be one of the first categories that will be affected by this revolution. But I also think that these kind of jobs, repetitive jobs, are also not a good jobs for the mental health and the health. So they're not stimulating, that they're not creative, they're just repetitive. You're doing a job like a robot. It's simply this phrase, do it. So to face in the best way this revolution, the most important thing is to be aware of this revolution, because it's not coming, but it's already here and is running very fast. And the second, that is my most important thing, is the education. Now more than ever, we have to invest in education, in self-education, and ask to our governments also to invest in education. Because if you think many of these jobs, call centers or anything related to the customer service, are sometimes are not quality jobs, and they're done by students or people that are undereducated, and unfortunately the undereducated people probably will be the first that will be affected as well. But I'm optimistic. All these people are one click from the knowledge, because since we have internet, we are living times with so many informations that so many information and knowledge shared and free and reachable with a click, but we sometimes I don't know, excuse me for this example, we spend a lot of time and hours to scrolling reels, etc. So this is another thing we can balance from now our pleasure and switching off our brain with the reels, but also to start using these tools because they are tools, internet and the generative AI, like personal assistant, and realize that now we have a very powerful tool that 3 years ago was exclusive to the big companies because they needed very powerful computers, a lot of money to make it work. While we have ChatGPT for $20, or there are other even cheaper, or even open source models that we can use as the best assistant in everything. In
Yeah.
everything.
Daniel, we actually have a question from one of the participants, and she's asking,
Yes.
is it true that all information you place on ChatGPT, like a video or a photo, it's not yours anymore, that anybody can use or see it?
So ChatGPT, we are talking about text to text. It's not visible to everyone because it's not like being on the social network. But these companies use also our data, our inputs to train these models. But ChatGPT allows you to switch off the sharing of these informations. So if you switch it off, all your information remain out of their control, let's say. Because I think also asking if they don't own these data, they use them to train.
So when you say they use them to train, that means that the next person who makes a request that could ask for something similar to what you did with the information you put up, that ChatGPT, unless you tell it not to share, can use that information.
Not explicitly with a prompt asking not to share. There is in the settings, we'll see
Okay.
it probably next time. But another, è passato.
Okay, so while he's thinking, does anybody else have any other questions? He threw a lot of information at us.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I tried to be the fastest I can because I saw we were.
You can go ahead and take your audio off and ask directly if you like. That's not a problem.
Or you can write it in the chat.
Oh, let's see, we have another chat here.
Ecco, this is the example I wanted to do. Let's say, let's make a big example. If Apple, the big company, Apple, use ChatGPT, the web version, the everyone's version, and they use it to analyze their financial situation, and they share it, these informations can come out if another user asks, can you tell me the last financial results of Apple? This is how, for example, my data are not so important to share. So it's not, there isn't any risk. This is why I want to underline again, it's very important to be aware of the use of generative AI and how these data are treated when you run a business and when you use it with these very sensitive information. If you use it for creating a shopping list or anything personal, anything generic, I think there is no problem. Or there is another third option, but this is more technical. There are some open source models like the Meta, Facebook's Llama, model and the Chinese DeepSeek that was popular lately. You can install the model in your computer, so it's you can use it offline, and you're sure, even with DeepSeek, that no information will be shared.
Okay.
This
I
is
have seen a lot of talk lately about businesses, individuals who use ChatGPT unauthorized in an office setting. So it's one thing when
Yes.
you're a freelancer like myself or like Carlotta, but if you work within a company, you really should make sure that you have permission to use ChatGPT.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at 1:30, but if there's any questions, pop them out or let me, you can let us know even afterwards.
I have a question. Personally, what is the danger that you see with that? Because as you know, there is always, I don't know how to translate that, la rovescia della medaglia, no?
Mhm.
So
Chiaro.
what is, with your personal experience, what is the danger, the next danger that you see in that? Thank you.
Thank you again for the question, because it's a really good question, and it's a very important question. There are a lot of risks, because it's every single tool that we use, it's as Sandrine says, it depends how we use it, because there is also always the other side of the coin, let's say. For me, the biggest danger is the disinformation and the misuse. With the creation of deep fakes, and I don't know, probably you heard about the French woman who was scammed by a person who personified Brad Pitt, and she gave
Yeah.
him around $600,000 because it was really well made. But also we have to face with all these tools, and I start with internet and the social medias in an active way, not passive, active way. We have always to ask, now more than ever, is this true? But on the other hand, we have the AI that can help us, because there are some models that can make a very